We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it.
Us poor people can buy better products that taste a lot better and a lot more economical.
They're not just saying, ew. They're saying, I fed this to my kids, and now your executive is calling us poor and acting like the food is beneath him. That is personal. So Campbell's really woke up one day and said, how fast do you think we could destroy 150 years of brand loyalty? Because apparently behind the scenes, you've got an executive allegedly calling it poor people soup and bragging about the fact that he and his own family don't actually eat the product that the company that he works for sells. Welcome back into the channel where corporations expose themselves way faster than I ever could. Today we're talking about Campbell Soup. You know, the good people that are currently getting dragged because a high-ranking executive allegedly went on an hour-long rant talking about his own coworkers, Indian employees, bad-mouthing customers, and revealing the actual soup ingredients. While he's supposed to be, you know, representing the company. So this recording is actually now part of an ongoing lawsuit from a former employee who says that he got fired in retaliation. So that means that Campbell's is not just dealing with bad PR, they're also dealing with lawyers. So we're gonna break down what exactly the executive said, why people are so furious about those poor people comments, the whole 3D printed chicken and bioengineered ingredients mess, and why this hits way deeper than just one single oops, bad quote. So we're gonna start with the recording, and it's probably best to buckle up because it's pretty bad.
So Liz, this lawsuit we understand was launched by a person by the name of Robert Garza. Now Garza was hired as a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell's back in September of 2024. And Liz, 2 months after he was hired, he says he had a meeting with an executive named Martin Bally to discuss his salary. Now, during that meeting, he is now alleging that Bally made several disparaging comments about Indian workers and also said that Campbell's is, quote, highly processed food for poor people.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it. Even in a can of soup, I look at it and we could eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer, do you?
And according to the lawsuit, this dude just lets it fly for a flat hour. Imagine being so comfortable and so arrogant that you're in a restaurant just dumping on the people that buy your products, the people who make your products, and the people that work under you. And you're just doing it like it's a story time, not realizing that somebody hit record. And then that recording ends up in a lawsuit. I am pleased to report that corporate karma is alive and well. So after that recording was leaked online, people took that "for poor people" comment very, very personally, and it was justified.
Oh, and Campbell's soup, the last time I made you, you tasted like shit. You weren't very good. And just from me to you and the people here in Missouri, you can go f yourself. I will never buy any of your products again. Us poor people can buy better products that taste a lot better and a lot more economical. So please, just go take your can, shove it up your ass, and go f yourself. Have a great day, Campbell's Soup.
Campbell's literally survived the Great Depression, multiple wars, and every single recession that we have seen by being the one thing that struggling families could afford to eat. It was never meant to be fancy. It was meant to be survival food. It sat in pantries when paychecks couldn't stretch. To hear some executive make snide remarks about poor people food after the company built its empire off of the backs of those very people, that's not just offensive, that is mask off energy. And here's the kicker. Campbell's soup is actually one of the most expensive soups on the market right now. You're gonna call it poor people soup by charging $2 a can, while the store brand is sitting right underneath it for under $1? Please, the math ain't mathin'. It's like, oh, we make food for the poors, but we priced it for the people who aren't exactly poor. Make it make sense.
Hey, what you talking about? You make stuff for poor people. The hell you do? Because you think $2.39, you think that that's cheap. You think you're selling to poor people. Hell no. The rich folks buy your stuff. $2.39 a can. For what? can get the exact same thing from Aldi, and it's about 79 cents, Mr. Campbell. Okay, and they definitely didn't make the mistake of telling us what was in it. Talking about $2.39 I can for your inkjet chicken, man. Print this. I hate to tell you, brother, it's actually the rich people that buy your stuff, and I really hope they didn't hear what you said, because that's your friends. Your friends buy your stuff. They probably would have just paid for real chicken, but y'all lied about it. You didn't even tell them. Like, rich folks that buy your stuff, they got money. They would have just paid for the real chicken. You didn't have to 3D print it. Why'd you do that? You know, that don't even make no sense. I'm gonna let you deal with that. You got a lot to handle. By the way, I think that printer is running out of ink because the chicken used to be kind of pink and now it's just clear. So you might want to, get on the auto enroll for that ink on that printer.
Then comes my favorite part. The executive allegedly says he doesn't really eat Campbell's anymore because of now knowing what's in it. He doesn't want to touch chicken that's supposedly 3D printed or bioengineered. Again, this is not some random conspiracy guy on Facebook. This is someone inside of the company talking about what they know about the food that the company sells. And this is when people started going on social media and turning the can around to look at the fine print underneath the ingredients list. Contains bioengineered food ingredients.
This is what I use to make my daughter's favorite dish. And if you turn around on the back of it, and let's read the ingredients. Contained bioengineered food, genetically modified crops, chicken noodle soup. Let's turn it around. Contains bioengineered food ingredients, genetically modified crops. Yeah, this shit's going in the trash. I will figure out my own homemade ingredients, how to make chicken noodle soup, and come up with ingredients for cream of chicken. Campbell's, you disgust me.
A lot of people never noticed it before, but once that recording leaked, they noticed. So the food science people will tell you that there is a stark difference between bioengineered ingredients, GMO crops, and literal 3D printed chicken. Those are not all the same thing. But here's the point. If their own executive is afraid of the ingredients, why in the world should anybody feel good about them?
All right, so I made both of my kids chicken noodle soup for lunch. Everybody know the chicken noodle soup, the goat. And this is how my youngest son's soup looked. You know what I mean? So then my oldest son wanted some. Same can, same exact can. You know what I mean? But Campbell's chicken noodle soup. What in the is this? Yeah, that ass came out of this can. The same can that came out of. What in the Yo, bro.
And then you have the company releasing a statement. Oh, those comments are absurd. All of our ingredients are wholesome. We're proud of our real chicken. Meanwhile, the labels are like, contains bioengineered ingredients. So exactly which one is it, Campbell's? Which one is it? What you say or what's printed on the label?
So Campbell's released a statement on this. I'll read you part of what they say. They say, we are proud of the food we make, the people who make it, and the high quality ingredients we use. The comments heard on the recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd. We use 100% real chicken in our soups. The chicken meat comes from long trusted USDA approved US suppliers and meets our high quality standards. All of our soups are made with no antibiotics ever chicken meat, and any claims to the contrary, they say, are completely false. The company is also saying, Liz, that Bally is on temporary leave while the company now conducts its own investigation. But this isn't the only legal trouble that Campbell's is now facing. I want to show you what's on my screen here. This is a social media post from Florida's Attorney General saying this: Florida law bans lab-grown meat. Our Consumer Protection Division is launching an investigation and will demand answers from Campbell's.
So Campbell's PR team is currently working overtime. They put out a statement saying that the comments that were made in this leaked recording are absolutely unacceptable and they don't hold the same values. They're proud of their food ingredients, and that the executive in question is no longer with the company. Surprise, surprise. Classic corporate cleanup. We're shocked. We had no idea. This isn't who we are. We love our community. We love our customers. Please keep buying the soup. But here's the thing. You don't get to call it absurd when the words came out of the mouth that somebody you pay an extraordinarily high salary to and trusted with some real power in the company. That is who you are. That's your culture. That's the kind of person that thrives there. You can fire him now, but that recording already told on you. You've got people on TikTok literally dumping the cans that were in their cabinet straight into the garbage.
Ew.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it. Even in a can of soup, I look at it, pop, bio.
All that shit going in the trash. Trash. Look. Trash. Oh my gosh, y'all, we got so much. Trash. Campbell's. Look at this bullshit. I can't believe y'all. Y'all done pissed the community off.
Oh well. Campbell's got me messed up. In the garbage. They go. Garbage. Campbell's. You would think you would be getting the best ingredients in high brand products, but no.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it. Even in a can of soup, I look at it, pop, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer, you?
And saying, I'm done. Parents who have used these cream-based soups and casseroles for decades. Folks who grew up on Campbell's during hard times. People who used to see a red and white label as comfort. They're not just saying, ew. They're saying, I fed this to my kids, and now your executive is calling us poor and acting like the food is beneath him. That is personal. And let's not forget, Campbell's doesn't just own the soup. They've quietly scooped up half of the damn snack aisle.
So Campbell's Soup thinks it's funny to mock poor people. That's wild coming from a company that literally built their entire empire off of the same working class families that they're laughing at. You can't spend decades selling canned sodium water and bioengineered mystery meat to people who are struggling and then turn around and talk shit about them. That's not just disrespect. That's who these corporations really are. And the comments I've seen prove it. Everyone's done. People are finally realizing that Campbell's owns, half the damn snack aisle. Goldfish, Snyder's, Cape Cod, Kettle Brand, Pretzel Crisps, Prego, Swanson, all the same company feeding us the same garbage under different labels. And now we find out that they're slipping bioengineered ingredients in the food and didn't even bother putting it in the label. But sure, the people buying it are the poor ones, right? The ones working 2 jobs, the ones stretching groceries, the ones keeping Campbell's alive for a century. This is exactly why people are pissed. This is why people are tapping out. Because if a company openly disrespects the same people that are keeping the lights on, then they don't deserve any of our money anymore.
Goldfish, Prego, Swanson, Kettle Brand, Cape Cod, Pepperidge Farm pretzels, all of those brands where the snacks look good so you throw them in your cart. Yeah, all of that money funnels to the same place. So when people are saying, I'm done with Campbell's, it's not just one can they're talking about. It's a whole web of products. So now, people are realizing they don't need Campbell's. We've got creators showing us how to make our own cream of soups because, you know, it's just basic ingredients: butter, flour or cornstarch, broth, veggies, seasoning, and, you know, a little cream.
The Campbell CEO thinks you're stupid and poor for buying their products. So let Granny deconstruct every one of them and show you how to make them at home. On today's menu, cream of chicken. Merry Christmas, Campbell's. Granny's coming for you. 6 ingredients and about 10 minutes worth of your time. I promise you can do this. Start with your butter. Once melted, we add in our flour and whisk. You want to cook this for just a few minutes until nice and nutty. Make sure you're adding your chicken broth in slowly while whisking. Now add our milk and cream and your seasonings. Once smooth, bring that back to a simmer and allow it to cook for 3 to 5 minutes. Once that's thickened, we're gonna add in our non-3D printed chicken. That sure is a line I never thought I'd have to say. And just let that warm thoroughly for 2 to 3 minutes and you're good to go. So you can pay either $3.10 for 2 cans of this 3D printed slop, or you can pay $3.11 and have the real stuff at home.
There's no mystery ingredients, no bioengineered anything, and half the time it just costs the same. And now that name brand can is in the clearance aisle.
Hey fuckers, you're in luck. It's 2 for $3 on Campbell's. They're on sale. I guess nobody wants their bioengineered bullshit for the day, huh?
Man, Walmart was quick to cancel them. Was $2.48, now $1.98. 50 cents off.
Now the poors don't even want this mess.
Campbell spent over a century training people into thinking that they needed to buy those products. And the internet is like, actually, I'll just make them my damn self. You were never really that special. And that part, no press release can fix. So really, this is bigger than just soup. It's about how these brands are talking about their loyal customers behind the scenes and what's really in our food. If a company openly disrespects the same people that are keeping their lights on, they don't deserve your money, period. So were you a loyal Campbell's customer and now you're starting to rethink what exactly is in your pantry? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and videos like this, remember to hit the thumbs up before you leave. I greatly appreciate it. While you're down there, also double check, make sure that you are subscribed. Ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.